Well, hello, Eagle Teamies. Welcome to our weekly Zoom call. I am Christy DeMoro from Framingham, Massachusetts, and I am honored to be chosen by elite executive consultant Kai Hayes to be on the screen with you to co-host. And I'm super excited because we have amazing leaders tonight. They're going to coach us and inspire us and share some secrets to their success in building their LifeVantage team. Thank you, Kai, for giving me this honor to join you tonight.
You are very welcome, Christy. You have always been one of the top contributors in our team for years and years and years. So I can't wait until the day you become an elite yourself. And I am forever grateful to you. Okay, moving on. It is Friday night, Christy. Friday night in the US and Saturday morning in the Philippines. But note too that we got a few peeps from Japan, Belgium, of course, Hawaii. It's still in the US, but it's a bit farther from all of us here. So welcome once again, Eagle Teamies, for popping into our weekly training Zoom call. Actually, last week, Christy, we filled this room with 51 people and rocked everyone's world, taking a deep dive on the key LifeVantage products. Tri-Synergizer, the Axio Anti-Aging Cream, AMPM, and our multi-awarded liquid collagen, which drove everyone crazy, happy, and glowing. So what more? Dr. Ron Nathanson, it's out there. The recorded is out there in my YouTube, Kai Hayes Lifestyle. Go ahead and subscribe. Dr. Ron Nathanson killed the presentation with passion and deep knowledge on all of those life-changing products, you guys. So I trust that all of you are popping those pills and drinking that collagen every single day, okay?
As a matter of fact, Kai, let me just take a moment. Powerful, natural, and absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
tonight, we're going to focus on the principles and behaviors in helping all of you and myself to develop an awesome LifeVantage team. Right, Kai?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Christy. So we got enough guests waiting in the wings. And before we get into the nuts and bolts of this call, let's get the house in order. So number one, please keep yourselves muted. Number two, we shall entertain Q&A as we have enough time for it later. Third is keep your camera on. We want to see your faces. And then next would be polices, please be proactive to mute any disturbance that may occur, because we want to hear all the nuts and bolts of our speakers today. And then lastly, feel free to type in your comments on the comment section below. Back to you, Christy.
Thanks, Kai. What I would like to do is read the questions that we're going to ask our elite panelists tonight. And panelists, I will reread the question when I ask you. One, share a few tips. What does it take to become an executive consultant, an elite leader? Question number two, please reveal a few best practices on how to build a 20,000 group sales volume every month, or rank advance to MC2 or Pro 5. Question number three, with our onboarded distributors, give us your best guidance on which top 3 items they should prioritize and focus on in building their LifeVantage business. And lastly, but I think most important, number 4, each of you please share with us one inspiring message to all of our participants, something that hits your passion and hits your heart, because this is a relationship business and this is a people business. Kai, take it away.
Boom. Today's training would surely help all of you, including us, to potentially make a shift or transformation in our lives. So pay attention, take notes, take down all the notes, that good notes, so as you learn. Okay, but allow me to introduce our very first special guest speaker, and I'll begin with Kristin Ahlgren. Kristin is, of course, an executive consultant, and she's from Kailua, Hawaii. Aloha, Kristin. And mom of 2 amazing teenagers, a beautiful wife, gorgeous of 25 years. a flight attendant for 25 years as well, been with LV for 6 years and hit elite only after 3 years of working part-time, you guys, whilst working as a flight attendant, because for Christine, there's no excuse, no excuses. And she loves learning about health and vitality and teaching others about it too. And she told me if it involves dancing or fun, which we do in Life Vantage, she is 100% in. By the way, Christine and I worked together a couple of times as guest speaker for Life Vantage events. We also traveled together, winning Croatia incentive trips, Punta Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas, I believe in Bahamas, and many more. So that's when I see her beautiful soul, and she's full of energy, by the way. You think I'm an energizer bunny? You wait till you meet Christine, and she's lots of fun. And of course, both of us, you can see us, dancing all night long at the floor whenever we're at the event. Yeah, really, we have so much fun. So back to you, Christy.
Okay, I'm all in, Kristen. We'll see you on the dance floor. Okay, and now let's all hear it for our beloved Debbie Crowell. Wow, such an impressive background. Her past 45 years. She barely looks 45 herself. She has helped pioneer a whole new profession in the horse world, EPT, equine physical therapy. Debbie also excelled at saddle making to alleviate common saddle fit issues, a very big issue for horse owners. Her life, her passion has always been to improve the lives of our animals, horses and dogs. With success in both saddles and therapy for decades, it was disheartening to realize the professional horse lives were changing. So thank goodness for Debbie Crowell, as she was looking for another way to make an impact on her animals. And who here does not have a heart for your animals? A stranger introduced her to Life Vantage, realizing that the science was real. And wanting to share the information with others, she had to go to work on her belief with network marketing, as many people have. Debbie also realized she had improved her skills and following the proven system of Life Vantage. The last 11 years, she has been in Life Vantage on a life-changing journey. Kai, would you please introduce our third guest and panelist? We all love and know.
Thank you, Christy. I'm telling you guys, we have the top cream of the crop for our guests tonight. So on to Mr. Zach Paget, of course, my friend, my mentor, my advisor, my everything. I hope Bridget is not
Greg.
listening to that. He and I work together here in Texas, building our Life Vantage business. Zach was actually responsible for creating a great movement here in Texas and building an elite Pro 8 or executive consultant rank. Greg and I followed his leadership, and he in turn supported and trained our team, especially in our New Jersey market. Zach is one special person whom Greg and I trust. That's very, very important in working with your business partners or leaders or mentors, right? And personally, he's married to his beautiful wife, Bridget, who is also a friend, and enjoying their beautiful place in Corpus Christi. He goes around the U.S. Training people in elite academies and has inspired and changed a lot of lives. So, Christy, let's get the ball rolling, girl.
Okay, everyone, if you don't have a pen and a pad or paper, please grab it now, because here are our questions. And panelists, you have approximately 4 to 5 minutes for each question. Unless the spirit grabs you, then go with it. Question number 1. So why don't we start with Kristen? Kristen, share a few tips on what it takes to become an executive consultant leader in Life Vantage.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here with you. Thank you, Kai. You know how much I adore you. And Christiane, I can feel your energy through the screen. You are just an absolute delight. And it's a pleasure to be here with Zach and Debbie. So grateful. So I just want to, before I answer that question, I want to, I guess you could say normalize that it's okay not to be an elite or an executive consultant. You know, everyone, the beauty about network marketing is that it's really up to you what you desire. There's a lot of people that don't want to work their buns off to get to the executive consultant elite ranks, and that is okay. If you want to make 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000 a month, fabulous. It's okay. Appreciate where you're at, okay? Having said that, if you want to become an executive consultant / elite, which one do I say? You absolutely have to have the belief. Yes, we hear belief all the time. But I was thinking about this question, and for me, answering it completely honestly, what comes before the belief? We have to have a burning desire in order to hit this rank. I'm talking burning desire. And if you don't have that, it's okay. I'm going to tell you how to get it if that's what you want. So it is, in order to succeed, your desire for success has to be greater than your fear of failure. There are going to be so many things that come into your face that you're going to want to stop. It's happened to me so many times over the past 6 years. I've gotten, just like anyone, rejection, and my good friends talking about me behind my back, and my husband not supportive in the beginning, and having flailing, no clue what I'm doing. But somehow deep inside, there was a fire that lit inside me, and it didn't light right away. It was my sister, Katie Dye, who's on here. She's my enroller. She's my best friend. We live a mile from each other. Our children are growing up together. She decided to do this business for her own reasons. And I told her, I'm absolutely not doing the business, but I will take the product. I took Protandim. I had a positive health testimony. The hot flashes that I had for years went away. The only time I get them is when I'm talking to a group. So I'm having one right now. So I did not have the desire. But what did I do? I didn't realize what was going to create it. Well, there was 4 of us, my sister, 2 other friends. We flew from Hawaii to Orlando to our first convention. You guys, get to San Antonio. I'm telling you that my belief was blown through the roof, and that is what lit the fire inside and created the desire, which also created inspired action. So that is when I started putting, everything in my mind into action. I had, like I said, you don't know what you're doing in the beginning, but what I can tell you is that get to the events, get onto the calls, soak up the information. You're here today. I give you so much credit for that. Listen to the trainings, have a healthy obsession. You said I was doing this part-time. In my mind, I was doing it full-time. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was, up at night thinking about it. How am I going to do this? And I was persistent. I didn't listen to what others said. And I just put my eye on the prize, and I put one step in front of the other. I put my shoulders back, and I just followed the system. And just lastly, you absolutely have to have the belief in the products. And you probably heard this before. So, be a product of the product. You have to have a belief in our amazing company. Our company is absolutely incredible. In the industry, you have to have belief. You have to be so proud of our industry, and you have to have belief in yourself. So I could go on and on. I'm going to stop with that. I probably went way over 5 minutes. Sorry.
That was
fine,
perfect.
Fine. Please express
Perfect.
yourself as long as you can.
And I can tell you, she's not the fire from a little campsite. I sense a fire from a raging fire across
Yes,
the
I'm
stage.
telling you, we need that energy right now. Yes.
Okay, now panelist Debbie Krall. Let me ask you the same question. Share a few tips What does it take to become an executive consultant or an elite leader?
All right. Well, thank you for that question. And I feel so welcome to the Eagle team. I've been here a couple of times, and it's always exciting to be with you guys. I appreciate you reaching out and asking me to be on tonight. I'm very honored to be here. On the tips, I'm right with you there, Kristen, that it takes work. That's where it starts. Understand that it's going to take a lot of work, and you're going to have to learn new skills. Very few of us come here with all the skills unless you have already been very successful at another network marketing company. So if you don't have them, the nice thing is that we can learn them. People are here to help you. So I also believe that having really clear goals when you come here, don't fool yourself thinking that you're going to just jump up and be an executive because you want to. It's going to take the work and the dedication, the desire to learn, the desire to push through when it's hard. I wanted time freedom really bad. I loved my career for many years being an equine PT, but it was 100 hours a week, every single week. It was a lifestyle. And so you were at it every single day, and you didn't probably know any better either. But I also didn't know anything about network marketing. So, but I did want time freedom. And after I looked at it a little bit and I realized I didn't know where else I was going to go, I had to have a six-figure income to leave where I was. How was I going to do that somewhere else while I was still working 100 hours a week? So what I had to do was just push some things aside. I've never been a big TV fan, but I unplugged my TV for 3 years. Every time I could grab 10 or 15 minutes, that was things that I could put towards LifeVantage because I had no more time. So it's very important that you really want this. Just like Kristen said, you've got to have a burning desire to drop everything else and try and squash it in to what you're already doing. And I know most people, they come and take a look at network marketing, they're already doing one or two other jobs. I only had one, thank goodness, but it owned me. So I realized after I looked at it, I didn't even know what it was. I did not know what network marketing stood for. And I went to my first event. I said, I'll only go one time so I can figure it out. Of course, I've only missed one in 11 years, but that was amazing that I went there. I didn't get my answers answered. I got my belief blown up that there's something out there that I could go do that was going to give me a new world. So I got exposed to it. And like I said, I've never really missed any of the other events because that's where you need to go and get filled up. I understood the products as far as what they did. I knew what oxidative stress was. I know why we got sick. And I also knew that there was nothing you could do about it until I came to LifeVantage and understood that there were some new principles out there. So I know that I would have never been a consultant if I had not gone to my first event, because that told me how big this was. And I got to hear strangers, they were on stage or ones I talked to at dinner, tell me how they did it. Everybody was there offering help, and that wasn't the industry that I came from. When you're at the top in a profession, everybody wanted my position. Nobody was there to help you. They were going to help you, if you got your head kicked off of the horse or something, but they weren't there to help you build their business. So I was very shocked at the quality of people that were there. So that's what I would tell you, is be sure you get to an event, but when you go, you have got to know you want to do this. You've got to know this is hard and that it's not going to fall in your lap, but it will happen. All you have to do is follow the things that we do, and they're pretty simple actions. Absolutely anybody can do this if this old horse gal can.
Well, I don't see anything old about you, but I will allow you to say that. And how true is that? Guys, did you hear that? A Pro 10 is a Pro 1 that didn't quit, that fed their why. And yes, those events completely infuse you. They activate your passion. Thank you, Debbie. That was very spot on. Thank you. And now we have our Texan, Zach Paget. Let me ask you the same question. Can you share a few tips on what it takes to become an executive consultant or a lead? And again, as Kristen said, whatever the level is that you want, what does it take to do it in LifeVantage?
Christiane, thank you so much for having me. And Kai, love you, dear. it's wonderful following Kristen and Debbie because I don't have to say much. I think they pretty much covered it all. But I would like to say this. Take notes and then go back over your notes and pick out 2 or 3 or 4 things that you really feel like you need to improve on, because you're going to hear so much in this next 30, 45 minutes, and it can be overwhelming. Please don't get overwhelmed. Look at your notes, come back tomorrow or later today or whatever, check out your notes and go, all right, this is something I think I can start doing immediately. And maybe it's building belief. I don't know. You're going to hear a lot of repetition because Debbie, Kristen, we all pretty much went through the same thing to get there. Kristen, one of the things, you said burning desire. My mentor taught me burning desire, coachable, and work ethic. Then he came back and said, you can almost forget coachable and work ethic because if somebody has that big a burning desire, they will figure out a way to be successful. And I truly believe that, but also believe that if a person's, is coachable, has the work ethic, then it's going to come quite a bit quicker. In answer, Christiane, to the question, I wrote down several things. Sacrifice, time, persistence, calling people, 3-way calls, opportunity meetings. Did I mention opportunity meetings? And then more opportunity meetings and more calls. And when I kind of first got started on this, my belief, was, let's say, a little slow in getting there. And my wife at that time said, you got to make 2 calls a day. And I said, okay, I'll make 2 calls a day. First one, there's a good chance that I never let it ring. I would dial the phone, hang up. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. So a couple of times I did let somebody answer and I was petrified, but we got through it. But here's what's interesting about that. The first person, one of the closest friends that I had, is a fellow by the name of Bob Putt. And Bob pretty much signed up immediately. I didn't think he would, but he did. Surprised me, but he did. Bob led us to somebody else, that led us to somebody else, that led us to Kai and Greg Hayes. That's how it works. So you keep talking to people, and they are going to lead you to the correct people. And I thank the Lord every day for Kai and Greg. So, question 2.
Zach. Every time I hear that, imagine, guys, if he had stopped just before that time when he met Kai and Greg. A whole different story. So do not quit. Keep your passion fueled up, on fire, and make sure that you feed your why. Thank you, Zach. That was amazing. And opportunity meetings, open up your mouth, open up your store, be willing to make mistakes. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Christiane,
Very
when we
awesome.
got started, an opportunity meeting was absolutely, getting in front of people in a room, et cetera, et cetera. With the addition of social media, you can create so many more ways of doing an opportunity meeting. And like, Kai can vouch for, we did not have that in the beginning. So we were driving miles. We were spending time on the phone. We were doing this and that, whatever. Everyone out there right now is in a much, much better place than we were in the beginning to be able to get this fabulous word out about LifeVantage.
That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. And it seems to be getting better and better. There's just so many things coming out. Corporate is amazing. Okay, now we are back to question number 2. A few of your best practices, Kristen, on how to build a monthly 20,000 group sales volume. If you can, give us a few of your favorites.
Yes, of course. So I believe that this is absolutely doable. I think anyone can do this. I think that especially attaining this amount of volume, I've seen so many people in my organization do that. And of course, we want to share about our products, which are incredible. And our new comp plan is very generous to people who share strictly products or mainly products. Having said that, unless you're a major influencer on social media or, perhaps in the medical profession or have friends that are influencers, you won't hit this rank unless you share the business. You absolutely have to share the business. It's actually I prefer to talk about the business if I had to choose between the two. I love talking about our products and helping people with their health, but from the get-go, I just was so fascinated with this business model. And so, it's scary. It's especially when you're new, and even now, even 6 years later, I still get that fear when I'm, going to share it, to be honest. But you just have to do it. And like Zach was saying, it's not who I know. No, I have hardly anyone on my sister, and then my her enroller, Sarah, who was a good friend. None of them were my good friends. None of them were even my friends. I didn't even know them. It was how it started in the beginning. A few months into it, after we came back from convention, we started doing home meetings, and we didn't know our mentor, Daisy Shane Goodwin. She was actually out on bed rest, lives on a different island than us, and we just said, okay, well, let's just do some home meetings and invite people, and you share about the products, and you share about the company, and you share about the comp plan. We didn't even know what we were saying. We said what we knew, and just people felt the energy. But one of those meetings, it was a couple hours prior to it, and I got a phone number from another friend to this girl who I really like, Nina, and I invited her, and just thinking, oh my gosh, there's no way she's going to come in 2 hours. Oh, she came. And she was one of my she's actually now focusing on real estate. So that's another thing, people come and go. But she introduced us to this whole other amazing community. And I don't know if you've seen our team, but these beautiful Hawaiians, and she was the door opener to that community. And so just don't ever prejudge, get over your fear and talk about the business, because that's how you're going to hit this rank. A couple other things that come to mind are, I like to call them the 3 C's. Consistency, which I talked about. Do something every day, whether it's 5 minutes or 4 hours, somewhere in between. Find those minutes, whether you're, on the toilet or you know what I mean? You get the point. You can find it in the nooks and crannies to share about this business. Confidence. If you listen to everyone who's speaking on this call, we all have our different ways that we're talking, but every single person is confident and sure. And the last one is coachable. Just be coachable. Listen to what your leaders are saying. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. So that's it for now.
Wow. Okay. We can just close up shop. We're good to go. Those were amazing. And it's so interesting how every one of the panelists, even in the last question, mentioned, 2 phone calls, 15 minutes. I'm working 100 hours, couple of minutes here, 1 more meeting, make 1 more call to a friend. Makes a big difference. Thank you. That was excellent, excellent advice. Okay. Now, Debbie Krall, share a few of your favorite practices.
Oh, sorry, my phone. I thought I had it off. Well, it wasn't going to be my favorite, but was life-changing for me. So I'm going to go back to events. I would tell people events are the key. I know it's a little harder for you guys to get to it maybe, but you have your own over there. But that is life-changing. That's the biggest thing I try and get people to do, because once they get to a meeting, whether it's a home meeting or a big event, they go around and get to talk to everybody, and they get somebody else's spin on it. I can preach about stuff that I know that works, and I've told them 100 times, but when they go hear it from a stranger, it's real all of a sudden. And I love that fact that that's how we do this business. Our consultants can get the answers from somebody else. We're all on the same page. And I think that's what makes this can't say it's easy, but it makes it easier. So getting to an event is very important. And I know that if you don't go, that your team is not going to go. They'll have the same excuse that you do. And so I think that is just a key factor in being able to have your team grow, get to a volume where you've got 20,000 in volume. You have to have some people there that know what they're doing. That just doesn't happen. People have to go, they have to learn, they have to realize what skills they need. They can go sit down with somebody, maybe has that great skill. There's things like listening. There's a great book called Listening for Success. I think I give it to all of my new people. And I know even I was a professional salesman, I knew that, you know, you don't talk all the time, but with this, and I think a lot of us do it, we get so excited about the product, or we get so excited about seeing somebody's life change, or their health change, or their horses, or their dogs change, and we just start blasting. And I had to go back, and I knew that, you know, you're supposed to listen 80% of the time and talk 20, but I caught myself doing that I was just so excited that I couldn't stop. So learn those skills, decide which things that you don't have, and then go after them. Mine is public speaking. I could not actually have words come out of my mouth if there was more than 5 people there. It would just stop. I mean, I had to try to introduce myself one time. I couldn't introduce my last name. I was Debbie Cracked. That was it. And that happened for quite a long time. And then they'd want me to get up there and say something. And I'd have that microphone and I would be shaking so bad. I was like, all I could do is look at myself shake. But I thought I was going to be able to skip that. I wasn't going to really have to learn that. You know, there must be some other way to get to be an elite without having to learn that. Well, guess what? I had to work on it. So I've spent the last two years going to Toastmasters. It's not something I wanted to do. I don't get excited about it, but I know that if I'm going to help people, I had to get better in some departments, and that was one of the biggest ones. In fact, it is my only fear in life. I don't fear anything else. So that was a real big one for me to bite hold of. But you have to do it. Whatever you feel like you're the most afraid of is probably the thing you've got to work on the most. So just know that. But this business is so incredible. I figured this up just a little while ago. I was thinking, some people, when I get started, I would hear people talking about being in the business for years. And I thought, how can people be in something for years? Well, it's been 11 years now. And when you look back at how we get paid, it's just incredible. I have some customers from my first year, 11 years ago, and I have a customer, many of them, that has had 132 subscription orders run. I did the work one time. That was the part that made me really look at this as a business. I was used to doing the work and getting the pay. Do the work, get the pay. Get hurt, don't work, don't get paid. That was most of our world. And this was life-changing when I saw, wow, I got paid 132 times on the same work. So it's a business that is pretty unusual. Not everybody has an opportunity like this. Everybody could, but most of people won't go do the hard work for it. And for me, the hard work was having to do some personal skills, such as learning how to speak and have your voice not crack. So I will tell you to do whatever it is that you fear the most, because that's what you need. Thank you.
Debbie, courage. That's what I hear. And what is courage? It's being fearful, but doing it anyway. What a stellar example of that. Take your weakness and turn it into your strength. Because if you did not tell us, we would not know today. And I love your point of, if you don't know what to say, or even if you know it and it's just too much to decide what to say, get them around other people. That is amazing. I remember all those events. Life-changing, each one. You think each one is the best one ever, and then you go to the next one, and that's the best one. Thank you so much, Debbie. That was amazing. Okay, Mr. Zach Pageant, share with us a few, and I know you have many, because I know that, but share a few of your favorites.
Well, I'm going to start out by piggybacking again on Kristen and Debbie. You got to realize you can't get anywhere in this just by yourself. You can't do it. And like Kristen said, you've got to share the business, because I don't care how many customers you get, over time you are going to be replacing customers. because Debbie, I agree. I've got a couple of folks that have been on it since 2009, 2010 when we got on. But I don't want to know the percentage that have dropped off. And I'm guessing it's a whole lot more than got on. So we have to share the business if you want to rank advance. You can get plenty of bonus money in the gem emerald. I'm sorry, going blank. You know what I'm talking about, the gem bonus.
Onyx, yeah, the personal sales
Right.
volume, Zach. Yeah.
Yes,
Personal sales
okay.
volume.
But you're not going to rank advance without fellow consultants. So you gotta keep that in mind. Debbie, you've mentioned events. I've got events written down in my notes also. I'm going to take it one little step further. When you go to advance, introduce yourself to corporate. Introduce yourself to the leaders. You want people to know who you are. You want to be able to call somebody at corporate and say, hey, my name is Kai Hayes, like Kai can do, and they're going to listen. And so the only way that's going to happen, and we were fortunate in the sense, Kai and I and Greg, we were in the beginning. It was a very small group in corporate. The first event I ever went to was Sea Change. It had like 400 people. And so we got to know Joe McCord. We got to know everybody. But it is a tremendous, tremendous asset for those people to know who you are. I can't remember. I think it was Kristen that mentioned being a product of the product. I'm still a believer that the business pack is the best way to go. And I say that for a couple of different reasons, but primarily because people are going to get an assortment of just about all of our products. Now, it's very difficult when you start out, obviously, to be able to afford to get numerous 8 or 10 or 12, 15 products. But as you rank advance, as you start making a little bit more money, experiment with some of our products, because I thought about it the other day. I think I used 12 to 15 of our products every day. I couldn't do that in the beginning. Ask Kai. We started out with nothing but Protandim. How do you?
Yep.
What we did with extra bottles of Protandim, I'm not sure. I know we didn't sell them. I think we gave them away to a lot of friends and family. But yeah, that was the only product that we had until we had True Science and then Petandem. And then I think after that came Axial. But yes, please become a product and share your knowledge of the product and share your knowledge of the business end also. Okay.
Wow, Zach, I'm like, keep on going. I love it.
My voice will start cracking.
That's okay. You'll be successful, just like Debbie.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much. And that leads right into our third question, everyone. And you notice how everyone piggybacks off each other. Relationships. It's a team. Just do your part. Some days it might be 10%, another day 50%, but it all adds up to 100 when everyone works together. Let's see now. Our third question. Tell us 1 to 3 things that you feel are the most important things to help onboard a new consultant when they start out. Why don't we again go back to Kristen?
The three top items to prioritize for
Yes.
newly onboard consultants and distributors, because sometimes they jump the gun, you know what I mean? So what do you think are the 3 top items to prioritize and focus on in building their LifeVantage business so that they won't go astray or, waste their time and quit? Thank you.
Hey, you ready for this?
Yep.
The top 3 suggestions for a brand new consultant are, number 1, do exactly what your enroller or successful leader tells you to do. Number 2, do exactly what your enroller or successful leader tells you to do. Number 3, do exactly what your enroller or successful leader tells you to do.
Simple, huh? As long as they are knowledgeable, as long as they're successful.
Right. So if it's your enroller, Yeah, if it's your enroller and your enroller is new, or you don't necessarily resonate with them, that's why I put successful leaders, someone who's walked the walk, talked the talk, someone that you are inspired by, that you relate to. There is someone, if it's not your enroller, you're gonna find someone, you can ask to meet the team or whatever. But I mean, it's true, because you come in and especially if you've had no network marketing experience, it's just like you have no clue what you're doing. And what we found, if we've been around for a while, is that, you find this person like, oh my gosh, this person's going to do so good. But what happens is they don't listen to you and they don't follow the system. They're not coachable. They've got their own way. They think they're going to do it. And it's fine if you want to, you've got some different ideas. If you're better at social media than, your enroller or whatever, like that's great. But listen to, if the person is saying, you should definitely do a home meeting. But you're like, oh, I don't want to do a home meeting. Oh, I don't like my house, whatever. Like, no. Do a meeting, do it somewhere else, just do it. And you really should post a little bit on social media. Oh, I don't like that, it feels uncomfortable. Do it. Of course, there's things that if it's totally, really not authentic to yourself, that's okay. But yeah, it just leads into just be coachable, follow the system, which ITT, invite people to the information, tool, get them in front of a tool, team. So that is your enroller, your leader, whoever you feel like they're going to resonate with. ITT, you're doing that over and over. So yeah, just listen to what your person is telling you to do and just jump off the cliff and don't be afraid to do it. Or do it scared.
Yeah, I'm glad I gotta jump in, because I'm glad that you mentioned that, Kristen. That's a very key, very important thing to learn from the point of view of our newbies, because our newbies tendency, it's either they're gonna crack because they don't know what to do, they get paralyzed. But guys, because their enroller is basically a newbie as well, right? So they're, the blind leading the blind, because Zach, you remember that Rico Wilson, my upline, is also not an elite or something. But guys, thank the person who actually enrolled you, but follow, like Christine says, look for the successful upline, or plug into some Zoom meetings and just take notes and listen and put those learnings and skills into action. Because, ITT, sometimes people don't know how to put that in action, because it's like, what is ITT? You're reading that at your back office, but you don't have anyone. Your upline is just new as well. So let your upline plug you into the events, plug you into the leadership, to the leader, whatever is your genealogy, to the leadership upline, and then follow that. And then if you are a network marketer, or you had previous network marketing experience, don't even say you know it all. I've done this. That's a different sort of company. So we have a different culture and we have a different system with LifeVantage. So back to you, Christine. Sorry, Christy.
No, that's it.
That was amazing.
I'm sure Debbie and Zach will expand.
And I think their first two things are going to be listen to your top successful upline. I have several people between myself and Kai, and they kept talking to their credit about this Kai Hayes. I'm like, okay, enough of what you're telling me. I need to talk to this Kai Hayes. And I got connected to Kai, and boom, that was history from there. Excellent. Thank you. Now, Debbie, what are your 3 priority items for new people?
Well, there's a lot of them out there, but the thing, I ask them to focus on themselves. And a lot of times they're very surprised when you ask them to focus on themselves. They want to go help somebody or something, but they themselves have to get better. So I ask them to look at themselves, again, back to the skills, what do you lack? But also, what are you good at? and then get really good at that. That'll give them some confidence. Learn how to overcome objections. Learn that the fear of rejection, that they're not going to kill you. And they're probably going to say yes, might be a few years later. Get over that. The listening skills are very important, because if they're not a professional salesman, they don't know the ratio of how they need to be listening. And also, you can't learn anything. If you're the one talking all the time, like I said, a lot of times we get excited and we start talking, but I'm not learning anything about that person that I'm trying to help. I don't know what their pain is. What is the problem that I would like to help them with? So you have to do that with listening. You have to, as you go up in rank, you've got to get pretty good at organization skills. That's not something you have to do right up front. There are only a few things you need to do as a new person, and that's listen to somebody else that knows what they're doing. You don't have to figure it out. It's already figured out. You just need to have a piece of paper with phone numbers on it, and then have your upline teach you the right way to invite someone to look at a video. Because there are easy ways and hard ways. There's be times that I remember I didn't know how to do it. It was my first rodeo here, and I had to ask and ask and ask before I could get somebody to look at the video, because I was making it hard. I was saying too much. I'd go on about Dr. Joe McCord. You'd have thought he was my father, but though he went on about it. But it was just learn how to not say so much, and then you won't get all the questions. And I think that's one of the biggest things I want new people to do, is don't think you have to know it all. That was my big mistake. I was a professional salesman, and as a professional salesman, you have all the answers. You would not ever say, I don't know. You just know them. And so for the first 10 months, I had a ton of customers, because no one wanted to do what I was doing, because I did the invite, which I did it wrong in the beginning, but then I got it right, and then I'd show them the tool, and then I had all the answers. I'd go on talking about superoxide dismutation, glutathione, and all this stuff that made me excited. And then this person would say, yeah, I'm all on the board. I said, let me show you how the business. Oh, heck no, I don't want to do what you're doing. They thought they had to know it all. And I think that's a big problem that we present being a new person, is if I had, 10 months later, I actually did go to a meeting, and I won a trip called, I forgot what it was called now, but there was 37 people that made the trip, and we were there with all the Pro 10s, and we were on the beach in Cancun, having our lessons there. And I went away from that meeting that you are doing absolutely nothing right. You answer all the questions. You know how to talk about all the stuff people don't want to know about. And I came home, and 10 months later, I listened to everything they said, and 10 months later, I hit the elite rank. So all I had to do was follow a system that was working. I just personally wasn't following it. So listen to the people that are being successful, and learn how to follow up. That's probably one of the keys. I was not good at follow-up. As a professional salesman, I would pretty much nail it the first or second time. I wasn't going to give somebody 3 times on something, because I usually did it 80% of the time on the first one. This is a different business. There's only 2% of the people that say yes right away. So I had to learn how to do follow-up, because I was letting a lot of things, letting it go, because I didn't realize that you have to touch them 7, 8 times. In this business, I didn't have to do that before. So if I'd been listening to somebody, I probably would have heard that a number of times. And so listen to follow up with your customers, but listen to who's already being successful, and knock out some steps for yourself. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. And I have made every single one of those mistakes plus more that you mentioned. It is so true about the listening, because you want to know more about the person, what they need, and you want them to see that they could probably do it better than you. I remember that advice from someone, and I go, oh my goodness, I don't have to know everything, be Dr. McCord's daughter, do everything. That was right on. Thank you so much. I hope everyone here was listening to that advice. Okay, now Zach, again, your 3 top priorities that you want to make sure a new consultant is aware of.
Again, ladies, you're the best. Debbie, Kristen, thank you so much. Use your upline. Kristen talked about doing what they do. Absolutely, but use them. I mean, we thought, oh man, I don't want to bother Colt. I don't want to bother Chris, whatever. But then when you start using them for three-way calls and you become a team, you're going to progress so much faster. So please do get to know your upline and use your upline like Christiane talked about with Kai. Absolutely, absolutely mandatory. Debbie said something that I think a lot of people don't pay enough attention to, and that's called listening and asking questions. And like she said, find out where the pain is. We can talk ourselves out of teammates by talking too much. You want to become a servant leader, and that means doing a lot of the work beforehand so that people will know what to do. And I agree with Debbie, we can't know it all. If we know it all, we're not duplicatable. All right, they can't duplicate that. So I learned a long time ago teaching golf is to become a good teacher. Yes, I want to be able to answer most of their questions, but more importantly, I want to know where they can go to find the answers. And so encourage people to call customer service. Become as familiar as you can with the back office, because I guarantee you new people are going to have questions about the back office. They're going to have questions about the comp plan. But please don't try to, fake your way through that. If you don't, I'll find out for you. If not, this is the person that you need to call. Get them the answers, but it doesn't have to be the answer like you think. It doesn't have to be like Debbie said, that we know it all, because if that's the case, we're not duplicatable, and people aren't going to want to join us for that reason. I don't know if this actually answers kind of that question, but I wrote it down anyhow, in that we have to be professionals. Above everything else, we have to have integrity and we have to have honesty. And that's dealing with our upline. That's dealing with people in our organizations. They're watching, and if we are completely transparent ourselves, if we have an integrity, and we are working as professionals, then they're going to recognize that. And I think in the long run, that's huge, absolutely huge. So, back to you.
Well, I have to say, I'm glad you shared that last one. Because I myself find that very important. And the more I checked into things, I called up so many times to corporate. They recognized my voice. Oh, Christy, nice to hear you. I went, oh my goodness. They said, no, we love it. Keep calling. That's really amazing. And there's so much love going on here. This is a competition, not between each other. Did you notice that? This is a competition for everyone, for themselves, to get over their fears and help people. This is unlike any other business. I love it. I love it. And now for the most important question, we're going to have Kai Hayes ask that question.
So in closing, you guys, this is wonderful. Why don't we just ask each of our three wonderful guests to just leave us some takeaway, one inspiring message, you guys, that you can give to all of us. What would it be? Let's begin with Kristen.
Okay. I actually messaged Kai on the side. I said, am I going to offend anyone by this? And she said, no, it's all about being real. And might be a broken record for you guys, but there's so much, just as humans, we live in fear. Fear comes up, anxiety. It's part of being human. It really is. And it doesn't matter if it's the business or, in relationships or, just life, it comes up. And one thing that has really helped me, especially in the beginning, the first couple of years, is when I was afraid to share about the business or the products, or I was, I had the fear come up. The two words were, F it. Just F it. It's true. I mean, it's
be real.
We have to, it's about embracing the fear. It's about, just feeling it and just, jumping over that edge and just doing it. And I think the more, I love to have fun while I do this business and life. And the last thing that comes to mind is that what I just said, that is me. That's Debbie's probably not going to say that. Zach's probably not going to say that. Kai's not going to say that. That is me. This is about being truly authentic. Zach touched on this, like truly, like as authentic as you are as a person, people are going to feel that. And when you are truly yourself and tapped into that, and that takes, it takes work to do that. And sometimes I'm not, sometimes I'm spinning out of control and not totally tapped into my authenticity. But, when you are, that people feel that on the other end. And that's when they're going to be more open and receptive to hearing about our products and our business and our amazing company and our amazing network marketing, business that we have. So just thank you so much for having me. It's been such an honor, and you're just all amazing. Thank you.
I love you, Christine. I love you and I miss you. And on to Debbie Crow.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. What is stopping you from doing it right now? Are you saying that you're going to do it by the end of the year, or you're thinking about doing it, or have you said you're going to do it, but you haven't put your foot forward yet? I want you to think about what is stopping you, and it has to be some sort of fear. I mean, you can even be afraid of being successful. There's people who can't handle that. But I'm going to ask you to really, if you say you're going to do this, go get busy tonight. If it is just write down another 20 people's names, but do something tonight. And I was in a really big hurry to build mine because I was really tired of that 100-hour-a-week job. And it wasn't fun anymore. I didn't love it anymore. But I had to have the money. So I had to build as fast so that I could go on and do what I'm doing now and really love life. But there's another reason that hit me a little bit later. I mean, I ran really hard the first about 4 years. And about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I was getting ready to really retire. It's kind of hard to let go of something you've done that long with the horses. There's part of your life. But I said, okay, I'm ready to really let go of that. And about the same time, in fact, I went to a Super Saturday out in Arkansas for some team. And as it was, when I came home about 6 weeks later, I found myself in an ambulance riding into the hospital. And when I got there, they found a brain aneurysm. They did a MRI, found a brain aneurysm that hadn't burst yet. And I was so incredibly lucky to have found that at the time I did. But it set me back a bit. I was in the hospital for 11 days. When I came home, I really did a pretty remarkable recovery. But I still had some motor skills to learn over again, like how to tie your shoe and how to button your shirt, and that the coffee mug has to go under the coffee pot when you want to get a cup of coffee, things like that. So, and those things wear you out because it's something new you haven't done before, you don't think. And I would get really exhausted, and I would just have to go have a nap after working on your shoes for a while. But it was just incredible that I had never missed a paycheck with LifeVantage because I did the work first. And if I had this same situation, I hadn't had LifeVantage, I don't know what I would have done, because I wasn't going to go back to the horses for 3 years. I wasn't going to get hit in the head. I had 28 staples in my head. So it was remarkable that I was able to take off 3 years and recover and really work on myself and continue to get paid with LifeVantage. And I'm just now coming back and ready to go to work. But I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't had that. When I started with LifeVantage, I was looking for a plan B because I think we all need it. Every single one of us, we don't know what's coming. It might not be a brain aneurysm, but it can be a car wreck. It could be a whatever. I figured I'd get really hurt with horses one day, but it wasn't. So each and every one of us has a plan B in front of you. And now it's just whether you're going to take the steps and go do the work that we've been talking about. But I hope you choose to do that. I'm so grateful to have this time here with Kai's team, with the Eagle team, and with the speakers. It has been a great experience again, and I wish everyone the absolute best, and go put your foot forward.
Wow. Amazing, amazing takeaway, you guys. And now to Zach Paget.
Thank you, Kai. Kristen, you brought up, a fantastic point, and I wrote down, excitement always trumps knowledge. And you want people to see the excitement that we have. I'm reminded of the story of Carrie Dickey, and I think probably most of you know Carrie or know of Carrie. Carrie's really one of my favorite people. I love Carrie. Carrie tells a story that it took her 1 year to figure out how we get paid. All right. But her excitement over what we were doing, she said, checks kept coming in. I don't know, exactly how, but Carrie is one of the most exciting people that I've listened to. And I just love listening to her because of the excitement that she brings. So be authentic, but show your excitement. Don't, well, I'm a professional at this. I've got to kind of hold back my feelings a little bit. Don't do that. Just show how you're excited, and that's contagious, absolutely contagious. Kai, and I don't know if this is, what you would call an answer to your question, but I wrote it down because I think it's as important. You have to be congruent with your wants, your beliefs, and your actions. And Kristen talked about actions before. Wants, beliefs, and actions. If one of those three is missing, you're not going to get there. You can have all the belief you want. You can take all the action that you feel like it's necessary, but if you don't want it, you're not going to get it. And it's the same thing. You can want it. You can take all the action that you want, but if you don't have belief in yourself, if you don't have belief in LifeVantage, it's not going to happen. And obviously, you can, Kristen, I kind of put it a different way. I use the old Nike, just do it. Okay. Just me. I'm old. But anyhow, no, it's the wants, the beliefs, and the action, and you have to take the action. And this is network marketing. This is golf. This is any sport that you can think of. Those three things have to be in line. They have to be congruent, and never, ever, ever forget your why. Your why, you've got to keep coming back when you have those lows. When, my wife at the time said, we quit. And corporate just happened to call her on that same day and said, you just hit profile. And so you're going to have the valleys. I promise you're going to have the valleys. Go back to the original why of why you're doing this business, and it'll uplift you. It'll get you through any hurdle. Kai, Christiane, thank you so much. Kristen, Debbie, it's been a real pleasure. To all of my friends that are on this call with us tonight, thank you so much.
Wow, fantastic, you guys. Amazing,
Wow.
amazing speakers and trainers for tonight. I just want you to know, you guys, that they are doing this for free. I just asked a favor and they said yes. And Christine is normally, actually not in my lineage. She does not have anything to do with my team. Zach is, I fall underneath his lineage, but even so, Zach also helps out other team. And Debbie, I work with Debbie for Think Like a Pro, and we are cross lines. So guys, don't be afraid to work with, well, it depends on the market, but here in the United States, I'm telling you, the culture is different. And if we can adopt that to other markets wherein we are not afraid to mingle with other leaders, because without any intentions of kind of like malicious intentions with other team, I think we're going to make this business a better place. But I'm telling you, they have supported me for free. This one is for free. And if we are preparing, they prepared we prepare their questions for them. They prepare their answers for you guys in order for you to help build your business. And so you plugging in, I don't think that's a hard job. You plugging into these weekly Zoom calls that Kai and Greg Case is giving to you, and my team leaders are actually helping me. Guys, this is golden. This is a free training, so grab it. All you have to do is put that in your calendar and listen. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to show your face. But guys, that's the reason why people are, the difference between successful and the people who are quitting, because they are not seen. They are invisible. But if you guys are plugging in, one day you're going to see yourself right there in the rank. Like with Christine, F it. Get excited. Don't be fearful. Who cares if you get rejected? I love that. Be raw and real, guys. And then with Debbie, Nike, just do it. Do the work. And that's actually a golden takeaway. And with Zach, he sealed it. with a kiss. No, he sealed it with a big bang, because you know you gotta want this as much as you want to breathe. And then without wanting this as much as you want to breathe, burning desire, you will never get that belief, right? You will never achieve that belief. And when you have that belief and burning desire, what comes next? Action. That's what I did. That's what we all did, the four of us. That's why we are an executive consultant. So if you want what we have, all you have to do is listen to us, take good notes, and put that in action. But practice is the best friend. You know, practice, practice, practice. You've got to really expose yourself to people and talk and open your mouth, right? That's our store. If our mouth is shut, then our store is shut. Okay? So why don't we all say, put that type 10, Master Pro 10 for our leaders today who spoke today and gave us their golden nuggets. Let's give them a 10 for perfect 10, you guys. We love you. Christine, love you. Zach, love you. Debbie, love you. And we're all going to see you at Global Convention San Antonio. Keep on shining, you guys. And you know, if you haven't been an MVP, you haven't won the 3-in-1 and all of those personal sales volume, it's time to get to work. Start with little, right? So
That's right.
I
That's
love you
right.
guys, and we appreciate you for appreciating us.